Good morning. Nice that you're standing right there. As I came in, I want to talk about something right here this morning. This came about as a result of the small group I was in after worship on Sunday. We're going through Deuteronomy now, and we talked about the choices that the Israelites made. And they constantly had an option, and the illustration was given. They could walk through a door that represented God's will, or they could walk through a door that represented sin. And I've just been reflecting on that since then, and maybe taking that analogy a little bit further. But as I think about doors, I wanted to challenge you to think about the fact that when you open or shut a door, if it's got this type of doorknob on it, you can't accidentally open the door. You have to intentionally turn the knob in order to get the door to open. I guess you can close it, but you can't open it without it. And that reminded me of what we do in life. There's a saying, the devil made me do it. And I believe, according to Scripture, the devil can't make us do anything. We allow the devil to influence us. Adam and Eve allowed the devil to influence them in making the decisions that they did, and they, I guess, entertained Satan in some way because they were there and willing to have a conversation with him. So they opened themselves to that temptation. But there's a scripture that I believe helps us with this. In James chapter 5, chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Submit therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you." Hear that middle part again. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So if we resist the devil, now again, we don't do that on our own. On either side of that, the first part, it says submit yourselves to God, have a relationship with God, acknowledge that God is a part of your life, give your life to God. And then the other part of that is draw near to God, and God will draw near to you. So with the power of God, we can make Satan leave. We have that type of power through God to keep him at bay, so he's not allowed to tempt us. So today, I want to encourage you. We all face trials and temptations, struggles throughout the day, and you already know what some of those are going to be. I can promise you some of them are reoccurring struggles that we have, or temptations, but Satan doesn't have that ability, and God can help Satan, push Satan away if we just allow it. So I want to encourage you today to be aware that you're making choices. Just like you choose whether to open this door or not, you're choosing whether or not to sin. Sin is always a choice, and there's sins of omission and sins of commission. Sins of commission is doing something that we shouldn't. Sin of omission is not doing something God does want us to do. That's another whole message in and of itself, so maybe we'll talk about that sometime in the future. But today, go about being intentional in your decisions and living the life God desires you to, because Satan doesn't have any power over you. Have a good day.